Good day, everyone, and Sir Victor. I am Charlene Maysina Aldaza, and I'm thrilled to be here for Ja Let Be edition. Just like Jollibee has a secret recipe, we have our own special ingredients to pass the licensure examination for teachers. Today, we'll mix some general education and professional education questions to cook up a recipe for success. So, get ready for a fun ride as we rationalize these questions. Let's sprinkle in some laughter along the way and make learning enjoyable. We have 10 Jollibee box and it consists 5 general education subject and 5 professional education subject. Let's kick things off with our first subject, Filipino. Number 1. Aling salita ang may diptongo? A. Buwis, B. Bayan, C. Buhay, D. Iwas. Ang tamang sagot ay letter C. Buhay. Ang diptongo ay mga salitang binubuo ng mga litra na may patinig na A, E, I, O at sinasamahan ng katinig na letrang W at Y. Malalaman natin ng isang salita kung ito ay may diptongo kapag ito ay kinapapalooban ng letrang ito ay A, I, Oy, Oy, at saka Aw, Ew, Ew, O, O. Halimbawa ng mga salitang may diptongo, aliw, buhay, baboy, leyte, paksiw. At ang mga halimbawa naman ng mga salitang walang diptongo, aliwan, sampayan, bayan, buwis, iwas. At paalala lamang na hindi masasabing may diptongo ang isang salita kung ang IAA, oy, at ang aw, ew, iw, o ay magkahiwalay na pinapantig. Halimbawa nito ay ang salitang buwis. Kapag binibigas, ito ay buwis. At ibang halimbawa naman nito ay ang salitang bayan at iwas dahil pag binibigas ito, magkahiwalay ang mga letrang nagsasaad ng diptongo sa isang salita. Kaya, ang tamang sagot ay ang salitang buhay. Dahil pag binibigas ito ay buhay. Next question from English General Education. Number 2. When a speaker delivers a message by reading it word for word, often to ensure accuracy and avoid misinterpretation, the speech is called A. Impromptu speech, B. Manuscript speech, C. Informative speech, and D. Extemporaneous speech. The correct answer is letter B. Manuscript speech. Impromptu speech refers to a speech you deliver without any prior preparation or rehearsal time. So this is a speech you give without any preparation, so you speak on the spot without your thoughts right away. Example, during a class discussion, your teacher asks you to share your opinion, you quickly express your thoughts and feelings about the discussion without any prior preparation. Next is informative speech. When we say informative speech, focuses on educating an audience through the use of facts and evidence to establish credibility. This speech is meant to teach the audience about a specific topic, so you provide facts and information to help them understand something better. Next is extemporaneous speech. So, a well-prepared and rehearsed speech that is delivered from memory using only brief keyword notes to guide the speaker. So, this speech is prepared in advance, but you don't read from a script. Instead, you use your notes or keywords to guide you while speaking. And this allows for a more natural delivery. And this is the correct answer. The manuscript speech because it is a speech that is delivered by reading a written text word for verbatim from a prepared script or teleprompter. So this type of speech is when you read a written text, you have a script or paper in front of you and you follow it word for word. So this helps you stay accurate and clear. Next question from general education, math. What do you call a triangle with equal sides? A. Scalene, B. Equilateral, C. Isosceles, and D. Right. The correct answer is letter B, equilateral. The triangle is one of the most common shape and is used in construction for its rigidity and stable shape. And there are two kinds of triangle, the bi-side triangle and also the biangle. So bi-side triangles are equilateral triangle that all sides are equal, isosceles triangles, two sides are equal, and the scalene triangle, all sides are different. So we also have biangle triangle, the acute triangle that has three angle that is less than 90 degrees, and the right triangle has one angle that is equal to 90 degrees, and the obtuse triangle that has one angle with a greater than of 90 degrees. So a scalene, this is incorrect because a scalene triangle has all sides of different lengths. And the equilateral, this is the correct answer because an equilateral triangle has all three sides equal in length. So this property makes it unique type of a triangle. Next is letter C, isosceles. So this is incorrect because an isosceles triangle has two sides of equal length and one side different. And lastly, the right, this option is also incorrect since a right triangle has one angle that measures 90 degrees and does not specify anything about the length of sides. For our fourth question from general education, history. Number 4, he is the composer of the Philippine National Anthem. A. Julian Felipe, B. Jose Palma, C. Emilio Aguinaldo, and D. Jose Corazon de Jesus. The correct answer is letter A, Julian Felipe. Julian Reyes Felipe was a Filipino composer of the music of the Philippine National Anthem, formerly known as Marcha Nacional Filipina. So this is the correct answer. Julian Felipe composed the music for the Philippine National Anthem, originally known as Marcha Nacional Filipina. So his work is essential as it provides the melody that accompanies the anthem's lyrics. Next is Jose Palma, who wrote the Spanish poem Filipinas in 1899 that is later used as the lyrics for the Philippine National Anthem. So he wrote the Spanish poem which became the lyrics of the Philippine National Anthem. So he is not the composer of the music. Next is Emilio Aguinaldo. Emilio Aguinaldo personally conceived the idea and designed the Philippine flag. So he is known for designing the national flag. Who sewed it? It is Marcela Agoncillo was asked by Aguinaldo to sew the flag. So she was assisted by her daughter Lorenza Agoncillo and also Delfina Herbosa Natividad. Next is Jose Corazon de Jesus who wrote the Bayan Ko, also known as by his pen name Joseng Batote, was a Filipino poet who used Tagalog poetry to express the Filipinos' desire for independence during the American occupation of the Philippines. Next, our fifth question from general education, Rizal. Number 5, to whom did Rizal married unofficially and without the ceremonial rites of the Catholic Church? A. Segunda Katigbak, B. Leonor Rivera, C. Consuelo Ortega Iray, D. Josephine Bracken. The correct answer is letter D. Josephine Bracken. Segunda Katigbak was Jose Rizal's first love in Lipa, Batangas when he was 16 years old. Jose Rizal was only a young boy of 16 when he first fell in love, and it was with Segunda. Katigbak was Rizal's puppy love. Coming from a wealthy clan in Lipa, Batangas, so she was a close friend of Rizal's sister, Olympia Mercado. Katigbak was just 14 years old when she met Rizal, who was then 16. Next is Leonor Rivera, being Rizal's childhood sweetheart for 11 years. So Leonor Rivera was considered a reason why Rizal was prevented from falling in love with other women during his travel because she was also known to be the inspiration for one of the character in No Limitang Here, the Maria Clara. Consuelo Ortega Irey, she was the daughter of Don Pablo Ortega Irey. Rizal dedicated his poem A la Señorita Coy to Consuelo. So the said poem is now dubbed as one of the best poem written by Rizal. Next is Josephine Bracken. She was the wife of Dr. Jose Rizal. Josephine was the last girl in Rizal's life. Rizal's last relationship with Josephine Bracken, whom he considered his wife, and they were together in Dapitan until his execution. And it is the common law wife of Jose Rizal during his exile in Dapitan. Hours before Rizal's execution, the couple were allegedly married at Fort Santiago following Rizal's reconciliation with the Catholic Church. Some sectors, including Rizal family, dispute the marriage because no records were found regarding the union, even if it was attested by the Bracken herself and officiating priest. Now, let's explore let questions of professional education. Number 6, questions from professional education, child, adolescents. Number 6, according to Erickson, what is the primary task of an adolescent? A. To establish trust. B. To search for his identity. C. To be more intimate with others. And D. To establish integrity. Correct answer is letter B, to search for his identity. It is Erickson's psychosocial theory of development. We have infancy, the basic conflict of trust versus mistrust. Trust or mistrust that basic needs such as the nourishment and affection will be met. And with the virtue of hope. Early childhood, the basic conflict, autonomy versus shame or doubt, develop a sense of independence in many tasks, with the virtue of will. Preschool, basic conflict of initiative versus guilt, take initiative in some activities, may develop guilt when unsuccessful or when boundaries are overstepped, with a virtue of purpose. And then school age, the basic conflict of industry versus inferiority, develops sense of confidence in abilities, and feelings of inferiority may be developed when not competent, with the virtue of competence. Next is adolescence, the basic conflict of identity versus role confusion. Uh, Experiment with and develop identity and rules with the virtue of fidelity. And then early childhood with the basic conflict of intimacy versus isolation, establish intimacy and relationship with others with a virtue of love. And then the middle adulthood, the basic conflict of generativity versus stagnation. It is to contribute to society and be part of a family, virtue of care. And then lastly, the late adulthood, the basic conflict of integrity versus despair, assess and make a sense of life and the meaning of contribution with a virtue of wisdom. Okay, for letter A, to establish trust. So this task is relevant to infancy stage, the trust versus mistrust. And then during this period, infants learn to trust their caregivers. And this option is incorrect because establishing trust is a task associated with earlier stage of development, particularly in infancy, as described by Eric Erickson in his psychosocial development theory. Letter B, the search for his identity. This is the correct answer adolescents explore various rules, beliefs, and ideas to develop a coherent sense of self. So this is the correct answer. According to Eric Erickson, the primary challenge during adolescence is the search for identity, where individuals explore different rules, beliefs, and ideas to form a coherent sense of self. Letter C, to be more intimate with others. So intimacy develops after establishing identity. So the stage where individual experience intimacy with others is called intimacy versus isolation. So occurring during early childhood. So successfully navigating this stage allow for a formation of deep meaning relationship, while failure may lead to feeling of isolation. And then letter D, establish integrity. This is relates to the uh, late adulthood, the integrity versus despair. So it involves reflecting on one's life and achieving a sense of fulfillment. So to establish integrity, individuals should reflect on their values and ensure their actions align with those principles while taking responsibility for their decisions. So this process occurs during um, integrity versus despair. Next is next is number 7 question from assessment and learning. It is a type of essay task that usually limits both the content and the response of the students. A. Essay task. B. Restricted response essay task. C. Extended response essay task. And letter D. Written reflection. The correct answer is letter B. Restricted response essay task. Okay. Essay test, it is composed of responses using their own ideas and words rather than using an answer. So an essay test allow for broad exploration of ideas and encourage creativity with lengthy detailed responses. Restricted response essay test focus on limited access, requiring students to provide a short, concise answer. Restricted response essay test, it is a type of test that focus on specific aspect of a topic requiring a concise answer that adhere closely to a given prompt. Next is extended response essay test. It is to demand more comprehensive answer, allowing the student to showcase their creativity and analytical skills. So, demand comprehensive answer that allows their creativity and analytical skills, giving the student the freedom to explore the topic in depth. Next is the student written reflection, an essay that requires you to express your opinions on a topic. It requires personal opinions. It does not specifically limit contents or response in the same way as restricted response essay test. 8 question from teaching profession. Anna, a high school student, has been receiving hurtful messages and tweets from her classmate through social media. So she feels unsafe and emotionally distressed because of the repeated online harassment. Her parents decided to report the incident to the school authorities, under which law can Anna seek protection and appropriate action against bullying. A. Republic Act 10627, Republic Act 10175, Republic Act 8049, or Republic Act 10173. Correct answer is Republic Act 10627, the Anti-Bullying Act of 2013. This law requires schools to implement anti-bullying policies and address cases of bullying, including cyberbullying, to protect students from harm and create a safe learning environment. This is the correct answer. This law specifically addresses bullying in school, including cyberbullying, and requires schools to create a policy to protect students like Anna from harassment. Okay? So next is the Republic Act 10175, or also known as Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012. So this law penalizes various cybercrimes, including cyber libel, hacking, and identity theft. So letter B is incorrect because while it is deal with cybercrimes, it does not specifically focus on bullying in schools or provide a protection for students facing harassment. Next is Republic Act 8049, or the Anti-Hazing Act of 1995. This law prohibits hazing in fraternities, sororities, and also similar organizations. So this is not the right choice as this law is focused on preventing hazing in organizations like fraternities and not bullying in schools. Next is Republic Act 10173 or the Data Privacy Act of 2012. This law protects personal data and privacy rights. Letter D is also incorrect because this law is about to protect personal data and privacy right. So not specifically about bullying or harassment in schools. So next, the ninth question from research. He is known as the father of modern research on teaching. A. Benjamin Bloom. B. Howard Gardner. C. Nathaniel L. Gage. D. John Piaget. The correct answer is Nathaniel L. Gage, letter C. Okay, so Benjamin Bloom's is the father of Bloom's taxonomy. So this option is incorrect because he is known for creating Bloom's taxonomy, which is a framework for categorizing educational goals and not specifically for research on teaching. Next is Howard Gardner. So Howard Gardner, a developmental psychologist who is best known contribution to psychology in his theory of multiple intelligences. So this is wrong because he is famous for his theory of multiple intelligences, which explains different ways of learners learn. But it is not known for teaching research. Next is Nathaniel L. Gage. He is considered the father of modern research and teaching. So, for his significant contribution to establishing a scientific basis for the art of teaching, this is the correct answer because he is called as the father of modern research in teaching because he did an important work that helped make teaching a scientific field and that is focusing on how teaching method can be studied and improved. And lastly, John Piaget, a Swiss psychologist known for his work on child development. So this is incorrect also because he is known for his research on the child development and learn, but not specifically for research on teaching. Okay, for our last question of professional education from curriculum development. Number 10, which of the following is a divergent question? Letter A, how can art influence society? B, what is the capital of Japan? C, what is the chemical symbol for water? And letter D, what is the largest planet in our solar system? Letter A is the correct answer. Okay? Actually, convergent question and divergent are forms of question. When we say convergent, those asking for one right answer. Example, facts, definition, formulas. For example, what is the capital of the Philippines? So it is Manila. Who wrote Romeo and Juliet? So that is the example of convergent. When we say divergent question, those asking for many answer requires analysis, evaluation, and reasoning rather than simple recall. So example, in what ways can technology impact our daily lives? What are some possible solutions to reduce plastic waste in our ocean? Okay, so that is the example of divergent. Okay, for letter A, how can art influence society? This is the correct answer because this question allows for many different answers and encourages people to think about various ways art can affect society. Okay, so for letter B, what is the capital of Japan? So this option is wrong because it asks for a single fact which is the Tokyo and has only one correct answer. And then for letter C, what is the chemical symbol for water? So this is also wrong because it requires a specific answer which is the H2O and focuses on recalling information. And letter D, what is the largest planet in our solar system? This option is incorrect as it asks for a specific fact which is the Jupiter and does not allow for different answers. All right. Thank you all for being here for my Jollibee edition. Today we look at 10 important questions for the teacher licensure exam. I hope this made the information more enjoyable and easy to remember. Just like Jollibee brings happiness, I hope you feel excited about your journey in teaching. Thank you again for your time, and let's keep spreading joy and learning.
Sa saya, sa Jollibee na tayo, wala nang iba. Sa Jollibee, bida ang saya.